Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Style Speaks. Actually, this is our hot in July edition of Style Speaks. It's July, it's hot, and our guest this segment is, I guess I can just say they all hot. And I'm gonna let you be the judge of that, but we're not really taking no toll. It's kind of what I say. But I have a very nice guy here sitting there. He's over here laughing, right? He's like, don't embarrass me. I have a very nice man here that's willing to talk to us today. His name is Semaj Alexander. Mr. Alexander, how are you?
What's going on, brother?
All right, how you doing today?
Doing well, man.
I'm glad you decided to come and talk to us today on this, I don't know what kind of, it's raining and the sun comes out. We're in Columbia Heights, you know.
Breezy, it feels good.
And now we got a nice little breeze going on, so we're going to hope that our Danishes don't fall away and our drinks don't fall away, but we're going to do the daggone thing. Tell everybody where you're from.
Originally, I'm from Washington State.
Oh, okay.
I migrated my way all the way over here, kind of a roundabout way. Washington to Atlanta, back to Washington, out to Kansas City, Missouri, out to here.
Okay. Well, how long have you been here?
About 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not very long.
No.
Well, how are you liking it? Are you going to stay a while, or?
Oh, yeah, I'm staying. I love it, man. I love the diversity. I love the area, the accessibility to Miami, to New York, to all the areas over here, Philly. Yeah, wonderful.
Well, since you haven't been here that long, but long enough, in your travels about town and the line of work that you do, and we'll talk about that because I didn't even talk about his title. But we're gonna get into that in a minute because we got one that we really want to talk about and expand on. But in your travels throughout the city, it's always very interesting to me to hear what people's perceptions are of style and the different looks of the city. Now you can be, this is, I call Midtown DC, right in the heart of Northwest DC, Columbia Heights, where it's a very eclectic group of people. It's not a business district, so most people are pretty casual, a lot of residential properties. So it's kind of different. I'm not sure where exactly you reside, but what in your travels throughout the day and your perception since you've been here, how would you kind of rate DC on that scale of being fashion forward or fashionably conscious? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, I think it kind of varies. Generally speaking, there's a lot of business trending here. Okay. To a certain extent, except for the government employees.
Don't say the C word.
What's that?
Conservative.
Well, there's a little bit of that, but you know, there's that everywhere. But I don't really think that DC in general is conservative.
Okay.
You know, I don't get that. There's a lot of hipster style I've seen. There's a lot of this kind of a new European flavor that's coming around that I've noticed a lot of. I've even seen some bohemian flavor around here. It's eclectic, just like you said.
Absolutely.
You just got to know where to go.
Right.
You know, you got anywhere from DuPont Circle's got its own flavor to Capitol Hill has its own flavor. You know, it just depends on where you're going. You got the DMV areas, so there's the outskirts of DC that got their own flavor. So, as far as fashion forward, I think it is. You know, I don't think it compares to like New York or Miami, but it's definitely not like some other places that might be really.
It's not. We're not at the bottom of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Shush. Okay, I like that one. Shush. Like that. How you spell it? Is that with a Z? Shush.
I could tell you.
Little shush. Okay. Well, interesting, and I kind of believe the same thing. I believe the same thing, but it's always kind of interesting how other people see it. Well, I mean, you're dressed today in your jeans and Chuck Taylors and t-shirt, your little Scorpio thing, brother Scorpio, just like me. Okay, in the house. Representing, absolutely.
Yeah.
So hot in July. Okay. So what would you? And this may be an easy question for you, but how would you classify your style? I mean, I could probably go out on a limb and say you probably tend to be more casual, even though I think you probably have a nice model kind of physique, so I'm sure you look good in dress clothes, but a lot of guys are just not good in suits. I just had, the Black James Bond on earlier, and he's definitely that classic Cary Grant, suit and tie, Justin Timberlake thing going on. Whereas I think you seem to be a little bit more casual and laid back. Tell me about that.
I would say overall, probably the most easy way to describe me is bohemian chic.
Okay.
Right, so, and actually, that's not my word. I got this from somebody else describing it that way. Because I'm more of a, earth tone, as you see with the bracelets, natural.
Okay.
I don't do the flashy.
Okay.
But I can throw on a suit and look like I belong.
Oh.
I've done it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I will do it.
You better talk. Tell it.
About
Tell it.
what I wear.
Okay.
Everything's gotta match in some way, shape, or form. There's a reason I wear what I wear when I wear it.
Okay.
So it just all depends. But overall, generally speaking, I'm casual. I'm me. What I wear represents who I am.
That's pretty deep. I like that answer. I like that answer and that whole representation. I think a lot of people just kind of fall into trends and styles and what looks good, and they really don't know really what kind of works for them specifically. You seem like you're very comfortable in your skin, and you know what kind of works for you, and nobody can really, tell you different. But a lot of people really need to kind of be guided. As you know, I mean, hence the whole, being a personal shopper and having somebody that people have asked me over the years, oh, Ron, can you shop for me? And I like the way you. I think I put things together well, and I have a pretty good eye on style and fashion, but I could never be your personal shopper. I just can't. I can't do it for you. Some people can just do it, but I can't tell you how I think. Now, I could tell you what I think would look nice on you, but you have to be comfortable in it. And I think a lot of people kind of miss that, where they really don't know. They want to look a certain way, but I've had women tell me, they want to wear the pumps and they want to wear the skirts, but they don't have any women, and they don't have any clue how to put that all together. And I find that to be very interesting.
You know what I think though? I think overall though, the person makes the outfit. You see people that they can wear some of the strangest things.
Right.
Like, they don't pull it off. He's confident.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I would never wear those purple shoes with that red jacket.
But some people,
you're rocking that.
Right. It's like, you put on a 10-4 outfit.
Right.
I'm supposed to be wearing this what?
Right. I love that confidence with it.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, not everybody has it. Right. So,
well, what is that? Okay, to kind of go to another subject, transition to another subject, about that whole personal style and how you classify your bohemian chic look. And being from Washington, it kind of makes sense to me now as you say it. But where did it all, not geographically, but where did you kind of develop your personal sense of style? And maybe growing up, did you look at the rock stars, or who influenced you? Because even though we have our own personal style, a lot of times as we grow up, we watch, we mimic, or we admire other people's looks that you would. I mean, who's out there that you kind of like, or you would want to maybe, if somebody was to compare you, not to get too crazy with the question, but if somebody was to compare you to somebody, who would you most think you would best represent?
Style-wise, probably Lenny Kravitz.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the answer I was looking for. Okay, great. Okay. I love his look. I mean, because he can do like the bangles up to here, and he can get like really rock star, but he can get like flashy and gaudy too, and kind of mix and incorporate that. I would love to be able to dig into his wardrobe with the leathers and the whole, he gets a little wild and eccentric and freaky side too. I think
so do I.
Okay.
Scorpio, brother, what you think?
Watch it. Don't tell it all now. Don't tell it all.
I won't get mixed with it and start wearing high heels and butt-out jeans, but he's not in public. No, I'm kidding. Tell it. No, I mean, just growing up, I don't really think it was a geographical thing.
How did you kind of develop your sense of style?
I guess just because I've been a lot of different places in the United States. I have an eclectic personality, and I like a lot of different things for different reasons.
Okay.
And that's it. It's just me.
Okay.
Probably one of the things that pushed it as far as not wearing a lot of jewelry is because I'm actually allergic to it. My skin reacts to the metal.
Okay.
And I think that works out. My personality is not flashy like that.
Okay. So if I had this diamond ring that just didn't fit me, or this diamond watch, and I was like, brother, I've been trying to get rid of this. I think you would rock this, and I gave it to you, you wouldn't accept it.
Well, no. Here's the thing. It's around my neck. I can't wear like stuff on my wrists. I can wear rings on fingers, but it's never.
You can wear rings.
I can wear rings or just something around my neck.
Now your neck and all that. Okay.
Yeah, it could have been when I was younger. I was wearing some shit, so that might have made a difference. But now, I mean, I've never really been the guy that cares about anything.
Okay. Well, I see you have holes in your ears, but you don't have earrings on today.
Not anymore.
Oh, they cool.
I can wear them, but I haven't really felt the need to wear it. And I think some of the jobs I've had changed that. At this point, that's not really me anymore. So we kind of generally don't.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about what you do. Online dating coach. That's pretty intriguing to me, and we're gonna, of course, at the end of this, tell everybody how they can find you and the transition to your philosopher of love and relationship. So tell us a little bit about that piece before we let you go.
Basically,
and how you got into that.
Well, initially I started off I'm a person who thinks about a lot of things. I analyze and pay
That's what a
attention.
Scorpio does.
Oh yeah,
and serious
you
Scorpio
know,
trait.
having been in a fair amount of relationships, I ask questions, I read books, I do a lot of introspection. That led me to have a lot of insight into people, and I've always been able to read people well, and people come to me for advice about this, that, and the other. For some reason, they feel comfortable with me.
Okay.
And that kind of translated. I met a woman that I did the show with, myself and Ricardo, who you're interviewing
And the
later.
name of the show?
They met online.
Okay.
They met online. So we all got together. I dated this woman. We broke up. Prior to that, Ricardo, the next guy coming on, dated her. They broke up, and we became friends. We're all friends, hence the name They Met Online. So both of them, we all met online, actually. First, Ricardo, the brother you interviewed a little bit later, he met and dated Michelle, and they broke up. There was a book. You can ask him about it. Don't believe he did. And afterwards, I met Michelle. We dated. We separated. We all remained friends, though, and that's how we started doing the show.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we all
Interesting
have
dynamic there.
chemistry with one another. We all have interest in love and relationships, and want to see people just find that true love they're looking for and be happy.
Well, that's interesting. Let me just ask you a question here.
Yeah.
So what makes you, not that, well, what do you call yourself? Now I wrote this down. Now, what did I put? Philosopher of love and relationship. Okay, but that doesn't necessarily say you're an expert. So what gives you not necessarily the right, or what qualifies you to talk about? Why do you think you can actually get on the radio and talk about love and relationships?
Because I've been there, man. I've lived it. I've been
From experience.
I've been in and out of relationships. I've been married. I know what it feels like to be married. I know how hard it can be. I relate to people. Well, I care. First of all, let's go there. I mean, there are a lot of brothers out there, sisters out there. I'm not knocking them, and they do well with what they do. Sometimes you find it doesn't really feel like they care. I care. I want to see you happy. I've been doing this, now, not officially, but I've been doing it for a while. Just identifying people, relationships, types of personalities, and all these things I've done. I'm not perfect. That's why, I'm not going to tell you I have all the answers.
Right,
I don't. I'm going on the journey with you. For those of you who I may be a little bit farther along, I'll tell you how I got where I am. For those of you ahead of me, I'm studying, I'm watching, and I'm learning from you so that one day I'll be where you are. And then it's kind of and for those of you with me, we're walking hand in hand. I'm learning, brother. Let's do this together. And that's why, I don't necessarily call myself an expert, but for all intents and purposes, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
I'm a philosopher. I look, I read, I pay attention. I look within myself, and I'm not afraid to say that I did something wrong and admit it. What didn't work for me may work for you, and
Let's get the conversation started.
Yeah,
Let's talk about
exactly it. Let's start talking about it, and we might find out that we can come to a general consensus and learn something and move forward together.
Absolutely, because I think I've listened to some studies, or there was a show recently and talked about the whole demographics and talked about statistics and black people, or was it specifically women, and the lack of relationships, and how we're the class that really don't get involved in or the marriage statistics. And so I think it's a very interesting, there's a lot of people who are in committed relationships. I tend to think the young people are really kind of taking over that. As you get into your 30s and 40s, there's a lot of us who are still searching and seeking and finding, and have experienced all of these things, and that are able to talk about it and have that conversation like you're doing on your show. But a lot of the younger people, I don't remember when I was in high school or in my early 20s that so many people were in these serious, committed relationships. You know, hence my assistant here, who you would think he was married. You know, the way he spent all his time, every waking moment. Sorry to put you on blast, Mike. But you know, and I hear that with young people, even in high school. I mean, these, you know, so many people that are involved in just in these real serious, hardcore relationships. So I don't know. You know, what do you think about that?
I don't really think it's all about committed relationships or not. The bottom line is we want to be happy.
Okay.
So you got brothers out there, sisters out there.
But how do we know at that age? How do you even know what makes you happy? I mean,
You don't.
Right.
I mean, in that moment you do, but it's a constant journey, right? So the thing is that I find people just, a lot of people are not comfortable being who they are.
Right.
And they don't know who they are because they're so busy trying to fit in and trying to be something they're not, senator representatives and relationships and interactions, that they don't even know who they are. So you can't possibly choose what makes you happy when you don't know who you are. And I think that's the problem. But ultimately, even younger people, they want to be happy, and that's it. That's why they're out there doing what they do. You know, we got people that they want to make brothers want to be players and do this because it was socially acceptable. For us, especially young, I grew up when, you know, the more girlfriends you had, the cooler you were. Not with ladies necessarily, but with your with your colleagues. You know, and I can't really speak for women, but you know, they want to fit in too. That's why they're doing, you know, they wear some of the clothes they wear.
Like it was the opposite for me when I was in school. It's like more of a, if you didn't have a girlfriend and you were a player and you was kind of sleeping around or just being a playboy, that was cooler than having a whole bunch of girlfriends. You know, there's some more committed relationships or always being in a relationship with a woman. It was more so, I don't want to be, balled down to no one girl. I'm going to just be, me. So my thinking, but that's interesting. So right. We all want that.
You don't have to be in a relationship with you happy. You just gotta know who you are and pursue what makes you happy based on what you know about yourself. Okay. That's it.
Well, with that, and kind of getting back to the whole style and fashion piece, and when you do what you do, I know you guys are, in your radio show, you're kind of behind the glass. You can, I've seen pictures, as you guys kind of do your thing or whatever, you can kind of, dress well. How do you want to dress? Or you're not visual. So when you have these conversations, or when you go out to have these, or you maybe meet people in your social life, how do you transition from I still think you kind of keep into, you're able to kind of conform to the situation that you would go to one of the hot clubs in DC where all the guys are all dressed up in suits and ties, and a lot of the clubs, the women are all dressed to the nines with the short dresses and expensive shoes and all that. But the guys got baseball caps and jeans and t-shirts on. Right. So that's really weird because to me, the women go all out and look like they're going to like the BET Awards. Right. But then the guys look like they're going, to TGI Fridays.
I mean, it all depends, man. Your dress needs to reflect.
That's what I see these pictures online, and I'm like, well, the guys look like crap to me. I mean, I know that's the hip hop look, with the chains and the baseball caps and the t-shirts. But I mean, who can't throw on a t-shirt and a pair of jeans and some sneakers, and the women are dressed like, all high end?
It just depends on where you go.
Yeah.
I've been to clubs where you have brothers in there with the suits on and the ties and pocket squares and all this and that. That's their style. If that's you, do that. But don't go to clubs where that's expected. I mean, I could probably do that, go there and still find somebody. People are attracted to confidence in general, more so than anything else. And how you approach them too,
Well, that's interesting because most guys who like to look that way and go out to the clubs don't necessarily want to go out to the clubs where the guys are looking like they're going to the basketball court. So I'm like, they want to see guys who are dressed up like, who put the effort in like I know I did when I went out. And I think there's some clubs who kind of demand that, and who kind of represents that, and guys who, and vice versa, guys who go out that will let you in with their baseball cap and the chains and t-shirts on and the sneakers. They don't want to go to clubs with the guys looking like, James Bond. You know, so
different venues draw different personalities,
Right,
man. It all comes down to it, man. There are certain women that don't like brothers who dress casual like that. They want somebody in a suit that looks like GQ Smooth.
Right.
That's okay. That's if that's your thing,
Right,
go for
right,
that.
right.
You know, there's a market for whatever. So, and DC has it all, man. They got anything from bougie on down to dive.
not bougie. Okay, I ain't heard that one in a minute.
Look, yeah, you want it, and people like to be bougie.
I ain't heard that one in a minute. No, it's okay. You know,
you be that, you know, go on,
yeah,
girlfriend, go on,
I
brother,
don't have
do
a problem with bougie, but I just haven't heard it.
Bring it back.
Yeah. All right with your bougie self.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, that's great, man. Well, look, I am so glad we got this opportunity to talk, man.
Yeah.
But tell everybody, you know, how they can find you. What's the name of the show? How can they find you when you're on and all that stuff?
Right.
Go ahead and do your thing.
So check us out on bliss.fm/daymenonline. That's THEYMETONLINE. You can check us out on Facebook.com/daymenonline. I'm Semaj or you can find me on Twitter @LifeLiquid. Also on Facebook, Semaj Alexander. Check us out. We're on every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't catch it, you can also check it out on the site, watch our past shows, or check out the podcast. Search Stay Men Online. Check us out.
I
did the weekend again. Don't be mad. I'm bringing it back, by the way. I'm saying.
I think you told it all. I have nothing else for it, man. We're going to let him go. That's been another edition of Style Speaks. We'll see you next time.